There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winter's image appears on the screen. There's an eager look on his face. The timestamp of the video reads 2054-10-12. Stumble upon this old archival footage of Firewing's original attack, months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of lives, a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play, starting it now. Additional comments to follow. The slow whir of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into being on the screen. A timestamp on the upper right corner of the screen marks the date, July 6, 2012. It is difficult to make out— hey, we actually have video, nice. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing at first. The scene is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in and you can make out two figures standing on a ruined landscape. All at once the sound cuts in. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Firwinger launched an unprovoked attack on the sleepy Hearst mountain town, and you can see the results behind me: fire, ashes and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. The camera switches to focus on a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible. Just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew, roasted alive, or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family, we have nothing now. You all made it through the attack though? Your wife, your kids? Yeah, we all made it, thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter, me, my wife and our two daughters. The shelter, it protected us, but the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours, I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, you know, when the air cooled down. The reporter nods and the man continues. We stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage, and this dense cloud of black oily smoke, and the stench in the air. God, that smell. It smelled like roasting meat. There is a long pause. From the tortured look on his face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually he does. My girls, they found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I kept telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in, but that isn't true. I could. Oh ho ho ho! I just couldn't bring myself to open that door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her, not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. You heard it here, an absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the Firewing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Firewinger's reign of terror. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end, that much is pretty clear by now, so I'm gonna do some digging on Firwinger instead. Let's see where this goes. Alright. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-1031. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Firwinger either. He shakes his head. I don't know, it's weird. The information is there, it's just wrong somehow. It's too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this feels just a little too neat. Huh. That's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting that tingly feeling all up and down the back of my neck again. It feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no Matrix hotshot like Clockwork or Schaefer, but I'm good enough to know when someone's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures, can't be too careful. Uh-huh. The display goes black for a moment, then the face of Green Winter swings onto the screen. He is seated at a computer off to his left. An enormous monitor fills the screen. His voice carries on the edge of panic. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-11-9. Now he definitely is someone on YouTube who talks about genders way too much. Christ, I'm getting close to something. There's a trail of bodies and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Marcian, Peregrine, they've all disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday and they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about Firewing that I've been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community, stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think it's true. Blitz leans in to whisper to you, I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much stock in them. Not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? He pauses for a moment as if seriously considering the question, then he shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. Iger cuts in. That's a bit of a leap. Iger, he's dead. The guy's dead, Iger. Of course he was in the middle of it. Iger, come on. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all of this. Apparently a Decker named Hellbore posted a theory about Firewing to the Shadowlands BBS about 5 years ago. About an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in Meatspace and cooked her entire apartment with her in it. If what Tolstoy told me was true, Hellbore live posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin grafts. Oh, okay. Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace. Yeah, okay. We've seen that guy before. Leap, Iger love? Sounds like he's on the right track to me. Yeah, Iger. Listen to the old man. Iger holds his silence but concedes the point with a small nod. On the screen, Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has gotta be Firewing, all of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive and she's out of the socks. She's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid goddamn lead. I've backtraced all of the Matrix nodes to that Hellbore was looking into, back before she got cooked. Whoever's been purging the Matrix didn't think about that, and I found what she'd turn up. Winter stabs a few keys on his keyboard, and an image expands to fill the screen of his monitor, a satellite photo of a rural landscape annotated with GPS data, and a set of map coordinates. So now I've got a target, a place to start digging, the Harfeld Manor, conveniently located on an isolated stretch of countryside, miles away from prying eyes. Matrix records indicate that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate, so that's what I need to get into. And this is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left, Monica. I think I'm gonna tap Schaefer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there, and she's gullible enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security and she'll eat it up with a spoon. Oh, Monica! I warned her. Amsel's voice is choked with rage. I warned her. You did, Paul. You did warn her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts into a broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night I should have the information that I need. And on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that'll tell me something too. Can't make an omelette and all that until then. Oh yeah, well you got scrambled. Green Winters. Play track 6. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You're looking at the tattered drapes and nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at Das Castle House. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-1110. There's a blur of motion, and the haggard form of Green Winters lumbers the frame. Suspicions confirmed. Schaefer dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later he returns clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up, slow down, start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in the Krauts Bazaar. Schaefer killed on the estate run. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. You have a contact in the Krauts Bazaar? Who is your contact in the Krauts Bazaar? Who would be his contact in the Krauts Bazaar? Do we trust the Turk? Who would work for Green Winters? Considering Schaefer's skill and experience, on-site IC must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money, real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the Firewing is too strong. So let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we're dealing with here. And the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connections. And the flux state can be a hell of a weapon for a man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces and swallows. Time for me to make my play. Ghost stories or no. Missing deckers or no. I've got to jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Winters drains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later you hear the dull clattering sound of hard plastic on linoleum. Schaefer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the F-state, but still, all things considered. Winters fishes for something off screen. A moment later his hand reappears clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. He plugs the cable into his head and the screen cuts to static. Well, eject the DVD. As your finger nears the eject button, a black screen cuts in over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's haggard face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess they caught up to me. They'll be after you too now. Yes, thanks, Green Winters. I figured that already. Bliss whispers into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? Whisper back, not now, Bliss. Announce loudly, hey everyone, Bliss is scared. Whisper back, we didn't know. Not exactly. Not exactly? I didn't come here to get hunted by a dragon. I'm not even a part of this. Oh, you better get out of here before she catches you then, Blitz. You wanna run? You are now, whether you like it or not, so quiet down and stop bothering him. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair, not because he's my brother, because if Firewing is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. Are you sure? Are you sure he's the only one? What about Algernon? What about Lofweir? But there are other dragons out there, right? Don't the other dragons want to stop? You've seen what happens to people who get too close to this. I'm dead and dozens of others have died. You'll be next unless you can find Adrian. Should I ask Algernon what he thinks? Hey Algernon, Firewing is coming back, what do you think? The screen cuts back to static, the message is over, the DVD tray slides out of the reader. Hey, cool. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon, son of a bitch. Green Winter sent us up against the dragon. I mean... The Firewing. Amso's voice is thick with dread. She lives. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Yeah, you'd be dead if you stayed at the hotel, Blitz. I mean, at least out here you can die to a dragon instead of a knife in your back. Iger ignores him. Wait a second. We don't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Iger's shoulder. The evidence seems pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. That's possible, Dietrich. Quite possible. The room falls silent. Iger and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Firschwinger. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and the Harfell Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there, SCAZ, someplace far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it, and I think that given what we've seen, the dragon would do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon, and that she will come after us, what do you propose that we do about it? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow Winter's advice. We're gonna find Vauclair. I say keep things simple. We head back, kick in the door and kill the dragon. Problem solved. You know what I really think? What I really think is I should talk to our journal. Anyone have any suggestions? We're gonna find Vauclair. Yeah, we're gonna find Vauclair. Yes, SAKC is right. Finding Dr. Vauclair should be our priority. If we're going up against a dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Winters spent 20 years searching for Vauclair and they got him nowhere. How do you propose that we find him? Hold on. Isn't Dietrich's totem called the Dragon Slayer? The spirit that Dietrich summons for his shaman magic? With the help of an information broker. I'll go talk to Altag then. For this, no. While Herr Buragazi is very capable, a task of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Blitz scoffs at Amso. Alice? Best of luck and I hope that you're rich. Well, we just have to tell Alice that Firschwinger is coming back, and if she doesn't help, we're all gonna burn. Amso raises an eyebrow. For this, rich enough, even if only just. Who is this Alice? A most prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community. Ex-Schockwellen writer. She provides information retrieval services for the F-State. Amso turns to the computer console behind him and runs his fingers over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Vauclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spits out a stick of black plastic. Amso plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. A cred stick. Amso nods. An encoded cred stick, yes. 10,000 new yen. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal savings, says CKC. Make this meeting count. Hey, let's go blow it on hookers and what's that drug called? 10,000 yen just to talk to it. Alright, where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn to the Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connecting tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Alright. Don't call it that in front of her though. Word on the street is that she hates it. Please hurry. While you're out, I'll work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match. Cool. And we can't talk to our teammates. Alright, it's off to the U-Bahn. Although I should probably take a break. Alright, so I'm gonna save the game here and take a break. Oh, wait, level up first. Spend karma. So quickness, combat 3, intelligence, decking 4, decking 4. Decking 4. And then strength 4. Wait, not strength, my bad. Decking 4 and then quickness 4, range combat 4, Overwatch. Great. And then there you go. Alright, I want to save the game here, take a break. When we come back, wait, what can I save? When we come back, we will go find Alice. Save game. Alright, cool. See you next time.